Plus, when she's not here, I really miss her because she laughs the hardest at all my jokes. She is not only a Pray It Up member, she's a dear, dear, dear friend. I am so proud of her. Let's give a huge standing ovation for Mary Ellen Byrne. Sometimes when people lose 50 pounds, I give a butterfly pin, and for men, I give some sort of butterfly art. But for Mary Ellen, I got her a butterfly bracelet because I thought you would wear it more often. So I'd like you to tell the group a little bit about your journey. Wait, let me. Okay.
I will make this quick because we really do not have a whole lot of time, but she said, I went, and what I was afraid of mostly was I'm a secretary to an accountant, and we go through tax season. And that's why I wasn't here last week, was because it was, the final push was on. And I was really afraid that what was going to happen is I'd have to miss so many meetings due to my work that it really wouldn't be worthwhile. And what happened was I had a particularly bad day. This was a Wednesday, by the way. I had a particularly bad morning. And I went out to get lunch for myself for the office, and there was this lovely, huge, you could use it as a bath mat, huge chocolate chip cookie. And I'm like, oh man, I need that. I had such a bad morning, I need that. And it's just, I stopped for a minute, and this is where God came in. Because I'm thinking to myself, look, you had a bad morning, and you're afraid of a bad afternoon. If you have this cookie, that's not going to stop it if it's going to be a bad afternoon. All that's going to give you is the ability to forget for a few minutes that you had a bad morning. And that is when I realized, yeah, PO is for me, I need this. So I just would like to say thank you very much to Ellen. And the thing is, I guess maybe she was right. I got to where I was 49 pounds off. And then suddenly I would realize what a gift from God chocolate is, and how it was a slap in the face to deny yourself chocolate if He gave it to us so freely. So I just said to myself, when she said I had 2 more pounds to go, I'm like, all right, look, you are taking the bull by the horns, you're doing this. And so what I did is I went on what I call the austere diet, which basically I didn't necessarily starve myself, but compared to how I normally eat, it was austere. I had a protein bar for breakfast. I had black coffee the whole day, water when I didn't have coffee. I would take I would take like a muffin for breakfast. I'd do half of it. I'd split it in half the muffin for breakfast, half for lunch, and that was it. And then my sister is very conscious about making sure I have balanced dinners. So I leaned on that. And I spent that, and I said, okay, it's Holy Week. Just offer it up. And it worked. I got on the scale. She said, you did it, and I screamed. Of course, I thought I'm going to hyperventilate. I'm like, I would start every session with the idea, oh, well, maybe this time. And then it would get to be 2 and 3 weeks, and I'm like, no, not again. Well, I'll just keep coming. And that's what I thought when I was in Al-Anon. They used to say, well, dress up and show up. It'll kick in at some point. And it does. And I do want to, Bonnie, say something to you. I was one of Father Murphy's English students back in 1979 on Bishop Ludden. And one of my mother's friends was a very good friend of his. And I have a story about him that I heard from her. He was in a coma. He was on his deathbed. And he had a fellow priest who was by his side. And he just suddenly woke up out of the coma. And he looked at his friend. He said, Joe, I was a good priest. She said I was a good priest. And his friend said, Kevin, who do you mean? Who? Our Lady. She told me I was a good priest. And then he smiled. He said, I have to go now. It's rude to keep her waiting. And he died. And that moved me. So anyhow, thank you, Ellen. Thank
You're
you for being.
welcome.
Thank you for not turning your back on me, because a
I
lot of
never
people just
would.
throw their hands up going.
Are you kidding? I was your biggest cheerleader. You know that.
Thank
I
you.
love you, Pat. Love you.